I really wanted to make a video today, so today we're talking about my top 10 My Hero Academia fights. This was really difficult because the show has so many minor fights that were also really good, but I just try to stick to the main big fights for this list. And also on this list there will be multiple fights where the two characters have fought in multiple times. I'm combining every single time they fought into one fight basically, and that's where it will go on the list. For example, at number 10, we have Dabi versus Shoto. They have fought multiple times, at least 2 or 3 times. Every single time they fought, it was great. It goes in the number 10 slot. And it's not because it's bad or their fights suck or whatever. It's because, well, it's a great fight, but all the fights above it are just way better. But this fight has one thing or key aspect that most fights don't have. And that's the emotional value of the fight. While most people look for the epic moments within a fight, or awesome animation, every time Dabi and Shoto fight, there's that emotional string that gets pulled every time they fight. Because this Endeavor's 2 children, one was a failure to him, one of them is his prized possession, and they're fighting it over the same hatred. They both hate their father. And I don't know, to me it feels like they're fighting to more validate their hatred for their father. I know Shoto's grown closer to his father over the seasons, but I'm pretty sure he still really dislikes him. In the number 9 slot for my 9th favorite fight, we have the Students versus Stain. Now this was in Season 2, and it's probably the best fight in Season 2. Actually, no, I take back that statement. There's one fight that's on this list that's way better. The way this fight plays out is just so cool. We have Deku trying to figure out what Stain's quirk is and how it works. We have Shoto just trying to help, and we have Ida trying to get revenge for Ingenium. Ingenium's his own older brother, my god. And just watching all these characters try and beat Stain for different reasons, which is so cool to watch. At the same time, Stain's ideology of why he kills heroes and how he idolizes All Might for being the only true hero is also kind of fun. Kind of reminds me of Eren Yeager. They have the right idea, they're doing it completely wrong. In Eren's case, spoiler warning, in Eren's case, he wanted to protect his friends and the people on his island. He chose the worst possible option and to, annihilate 80% of the population. Stain's case, he has a valid point. He wants to, stop all heroes from tarnishing All Might's reputation and stop the greedy heroes that just want to be heroes for the money. But to kill them is just a little overkill. Just a little. Okay, I lied. It's pretty overkill. Oh my god. I'm just imagining Stain watches a hero save a family of 5 and thinks, oh, he's tarnishing All Might's reputation. Whips out his katana and just stabs him through their heart in front of the family of 5. I know, really messed up, but that's basically what Stain does. And the last 2 fights have something that most fights don't have, emotional value, which I've already talked about with the Dabi and Shoto fight. This fight is just emotional value. And that's Deku versus Class 1A. Well, this isn't most traditional fights, because, there's not really much action going on. It's just so emotional to watch every single student in Class 1A try their hardest, their absolute hardest, with all of their soul to bring Deku back, because they need him, and they truly do care about him. To watch Bakugo finally say he's sorry. Not even kidding, that's one of the hardest hitting moments in all of the show, is Bakugo saying, I'm sorry, Deku. And it even foreshadows a little bit of Season 7. Spoiler warning for Season 7 if you haven't caught up yet. But the moment I'm talking about is Aoyama. What I mean by that is that Aoyama is the only one that didn't try to stop Deku, because he knew if he did, his chances of his family being hurt would increase. As if you know from watching Season 7, Aoyama is a traitor. Well, he was a traitor done right, unlike Pudding. I just watched that episode, It shows that all fights have some key moments with them that could lead to further events, and that's the reason I like this fight. There's a lot of key moments that could play out in different areas of the show, and it's just really emotional. And honestly, I thought Ochako was gonna confess her love in this fight when I first watched it. I'm not even kidding. It just seemed like the perfect moment. But enough about emotional fights. Sure, most fights I have on this list are emotional, because that's a key aspect I look for in fights. But number 7 doesn't have that many emotional moments, it just has epic ones. And that fight I'm talking about is Heroes vs. Gigantomachia. Kirishima, my GOAT, was the MVP in this fight. Now, some might say, oh, Momo's the MVP because she created the liquid. Okay, without Kirishima, they would have never got the liquid into his mouth. Like, overall, this fight is so cool. We have minor characters that I don't like just actually doing stuff. We have the GOAT Kirishima carrying the fight. And one of my favorite moments in the entire show is Kirishima saving Mina during this fight. Oh my god, I've seen so many clips of this fight. And that exact moment, I just loved it. It was so cool to watch. And it really shows, like, there are, I don't know, it's just a good fight. It also made me realize that Mount Lady just sucks as a hero. I mean, like, how many fights has she been in? And she's lost every single one of them. The only fight she's ever won was a stolen KO. The wooden hero, I forget his name, let me know if you remember, but the wooden hero was about to handle the villain, but then Mount Lady comes out of nowhere and KOs. This just shows that Mount Lady sucks as a hero. She's only doing it for the fame. At number 6, we have Deku vs. Muscular. Now, this was originally going to be in my top 5, but the only reason it's not in my top 5 is because of their second rematch. Their first fight was epic. You know, we could see 1,000,000% for the first time. We watched this epic fight. We have the iconic Deku pose of him leaning back, arms out, and the little kid that punched him in the nuts earlier just is like crying his eyes out, and honestly, I'm pretty sure he wanted to like hug Deku after that. Honestly, I think he did. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched season 2 and season 3. But the reason it's at, 6 slots because of the second fight. So, Muscular breaks out of jail. The villains are running rampage. He meets Deku again. And what happens? This once terrifying villain, who everyone thought was really terrifying, gets one shot. One shot. Now I get it. Deku has like 7 different quirks now and is really powerful. But like, bro, really? You got a one-shot Muscular like that? My lord, you just tarnished that man's reputation. And you also tarnished, I think his name's Koda's parents? Koda's parents even more. Like, Rhoda, they got killed by this man. And you're making them seem like a Bakugo in the entrance exam level threat. That's how sad it looks. That's how sad it... I don't know. If that second rematch didn't happen, or it was just a little better, it would be in my top 5, because that, happened 6. But just barely making it into the top 5 because of, the Deku vs. Muscular rematch, we have Deku vs. Shoto. This is the fight in season 2 I'm talking about. This is the best fight in season 2. If it wasn't for this fight, Stain would be the best fight. But no, this fight happens. We got some of those peak animation in the earlier seasons. And honestly, we have these 2 interesting characters fighting out with different thoughts. Like, Deku's over here, it's your power, not his. Use it to your fullest. And Shoto's over here, like, I only use one side because I resent my dad and he's done all these horrible things. And to watch them fight for different, reasons, honestly, really cool. And in general, the only thing bad about this fight was Cementos and his stupid wall. Honestly, it makes no sense. Like, why would you only put one wall up when you know pretty well that the impact will cause the wall to explode and have chunks of cement flying at the audience? Not very smart. If anything, you should have made a, box surrounding them. Let them get hurt. It's their fault. And, you already have Nezu torturing the children, so what's a little injury. At number 4, we have a fight from one of my favorite seasons in the entire show, Deku vs. Overhaul. This fight was just so peak. Season 4 is one of my favorite, if not my favorite seasons. The only other season that could beat season 4 is season 7. Maybe season 6. Honestly, yeah, I think season 4 my third favorite season. I mean, we have Deku absolutely giving it to Overhaul. We have Eri helping Deku defeat the man that traumatized her for all those years. And honestly, it was just a peak fight. Before we get into the top 3 fights, I would like to give some honorable mentions to fights that didn't make the list. The first fight I would like to give an honorable mention is All Might vs. Nomu. This is one of the first, if not the first fight that happened within the show. And honestly, it was a good fight. I just don't really see myself liking the fight that much. It was a good fight, and I'll give it its props. I just don't really like it that much. Simply because I just felt it was off. It felt wonky to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being picky, but it felt really wonky to me. The next fight I would like to give an honorable mention is Mirio versus Overhaul. Well, I don't really consider this much of a fight because nothing like really happened. It still is a fight technically, and honestly, this fight made Mirio like my second, if not third favorite character. The way he protect area with all of his life, even after he lost his quirk, he's still throwing hands at Overhaul. That just shows how much of how much he truly believes he can accomplish his goal and how much he really cares about Eri and saving her. The last fight I would like to give an honorable mention is Deku vs Bakugo. Both rounds, all round, how many ever rounds there are. The first round, the second round, the third round, I don't know how many times they fought, but I would like to give those fights an honorable mention. It just shows their bond and, not in a romantic way. Shippers leave. If you're a shipper of Deku Baku, leave. I'm not trying to imply that. They're bond of rivals. There we go. Bond of rivals. And honestly, I like the second round because it inspires that stupid meme like, Deku, I can't dance. Oh really, Deku, what's this? And bro's just moving his body. I may like that meme because it was not my first ever viral video I ever posted, so. But no more honorable mentions, let's get into the top 3 fights. To no one's surprise, rounding out the top 3, we have Deku versus Shigaraki every single time they fought. Like every time these two interact and have a fight, it's probably the most peak cinematic thing you'll ever see in the show. And this fight is so peak that when season 8 releases in October, it's gonna be, if not the closest thing to My Hero breaking the internet. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see My Hero breaking the internet, but that fight in season 8 is gonna be the closest thing. The things Deku is gonna do in season 8 are going to shock the world. If you're a manga reader, you know I've been leaked and spoiled on stuff because I'm chronically online, so I've been spoiled on basically every series I've ever watched.
I've been spoiled on most of One Piece, I've been spoiled on so many things, partially on Black Clover, and it's just like, I can get offline, I've been spoiled on so many things, I can't ever enjoy something without being spoiled. Also, I'm just so curious, like, if a character I think's about to die, I search up, does Blink die, and then I find out they die later, and it happened to be Demon Slayer. Like, let's just say that, I searched up this character died Demon Slayer, I found something else, I found out that a lot of people end up kicking the bucket. Yeah, that's pretty good, never search anything else, and never be a constantly online when you're watching a show. That's all I gotta say.
Moving on from all that and how Deku and Shigaraki spoiled me on so many other things, let's go on to number 2, All Might versus All For One. Now, whether it's round 1 and that small clip, hopefully they show more of that fight in Vigilantes, because I'm pretty sure it will take its place or time within that moment, in that time period. So hopefully we get more of that fight in Vigilantes. But Deku versus All For One, round 1 we get that little snippet. Round 2 in season 3 was probably the most well-liked fight in the entire series. And then round 3 we have Iron Might versus, oh my god, that's probably one of my favorite fights in season 7. I'm not even gonna cap, one of my favorite fights in all of season 7. If not, yeah, my favorite fight in season 7. Simply because he's using the quirks of the students he's taught. It just shows that he truly cares about his students and he wants them to feel some type of victory as they helped him in some way, shape, or form defeat All For One. I don't know why, I just got really happy and emotional when watching that scene. Like, he uses Pinky, shoots some needles in All For One, poison. The one thing I want to see is how he's going to use Kirishima's quirk. I'm really curious. Because if he doesn't use Kirishima's quirks, this fight's automatically awful and I don't like it no more. Come on, All Might, use Kirishima's quirk. I can guarantee you it's going to do a lot for you. Hopefully, it does. I haven't been spoiled on that yet, so. Or maybe he already used it and I just forget. Maybe he did. I don't remember. I'll have to rewatch the fight. But speaking of Kirishima, my number 1 favorite fight in the entire show, or may or may not because I'm biased towards Kirishima being my favorite character in the entire show, we have Kirishima and Fat Gum versus Rappa and the Barrier Dude, but he doesn't really matter, just Rappa matters. This fight is so cool. You know what, this fight is so good, I'm gonna give you a step-by-step fight, or example, or whatever, of how this fight goes and plays out. Firstly, the heroes are running in, trying to save Eri. Some dude can control the walls or whatever. He tries to smush Aizawa and kill him. He ends up failing, and because Fat Gum and Kirishima both push Aizawa out of the way, they end up falling into a secret room where they meet Rappa. Rappa one-shots Kirishima in the beginning of the fight, leaving Fat Gum to defend for himself. we learned how Fat Gum's quirk we learned how Fat Gum's quirk works. And, you know, they're duking it out. Then, the barrier dude, like, you know, in the back, he does really nothing. Then, we find out that, Fat Gum has stored up all the hits that Rappa has dealt to him, has all that power, and is ready to strike. But, what's this? Rappa's hit Fat Gum so many times, he's too slow. Fat Gum's too slow and can't hit Rappa in time before taking another hit. And if he takes another hit, he's going to fall down and he's gonna fail. This is when the GOAT Kirishima comes in. I'm an unbreakable wall. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about the fight. Oh my god. He hardens up, unbreakable, blocks Rappa's punches. It took one punch for Rappa. I'm pretty sure, yeah, one punch, he one-shotted Kirishima. Then out of nowhere, we get Kirishima's backstory. That was awesome to watch. And then, not invincible. Is it called invincible? Unbreakable. It's called unbreakable. Unbreakable! He blocks all the attacks of Rappa. He falls with the Fat Gum's arm. That was cool. The face that man made was so smug and also so cool. And then Fat Gum lays the hardest line in the entire fight. Me and you both made the same mistake. We underestimated the hero known as Red Riot. Punches through the barrier and woo! Peak cinema right there, I tell you. Peak cinema. My bad. Whenever my favorite character's in a fight like that, I just get so hyped. Oh my god, I just want to rewatch that fight now. That's legit. Screw One Piece, screw Attack on Titan. I'm not gonna rewatch any of them now. I'm just gonna watch that fight over and over again, because that's peak. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm gonna finish One Piece, and eventually one day I'm gonna rewatch Attack on Titan, because Attack on Titan's my favorite anime. I don't remember a single arc. I remember none of the characters besides the character in the Survey Corps, and just that main group. That's really it. That's all the characters I remember. So I gotta study up, rewatch the show. But overall, those were my top 10 My Hero Academia fights. If you would like to see me talk about my top 10 fights of any other show, let me know, and I will gladly do so. I'm eventually one day just gonna post a video talking about my top 10 not My Hero. Oh my god. I'm eventually gonna post a video talking about my top 10 Black Clover fights, because Black Clover is just filled with the peak fights. So I'm gonna talk about those soon. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And yeah, any video ideas, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Have a good one, and I'll see you again soon, whenever.